toolboxes. This is not a comprehensive showing of all the tools that I own, but I just figured I'd give you a little toolbox tour of what my 3 toolboxes here hold. So we'll start here with the Rightmost toolbox. Start up here at the top. So, as you can see, I like to get my parts from Rock Auto. Not sponsored by them whatsoever, but have some fun collecting their stickers. Here is my extending magnet. Any of you guys who work on cars or girls who work on cars know why this comes in handy. Got some helping hands up here. This is if you're wanting to like solder wires together and need your hands obviously to use a soldering gun. You can put the wires in each of these 2 clasps here and do your soldering. So kind of nifty there. This top drawer of the toolbox here has some sockets, mostly my SAE sockets. I think most of my 12-point. So as you can see here, we have a 1/2-inch drive back here. Most of these are Craftsman sockets. Haven't broken any of them, so I really like them. And then back here on this kind of ledge are my spark plug sockets. Definitely too many to count, but it looks like I have, these are my 5/8 sockets, and then here are my 13/16s. So yeah, so 12-inch or 12-point 1/2-inch drive SAE sockets. Here are, looks like these are also 1/2-inch drive, but just 6-point sockets. I like having an organizer. I before just kind of threw them in one of my drawers, but it's nice to know to easily grab where they are and get them and put them back, so you know which ones you're missing, which ones you've used, and an easy glance just to pull it out. I guess I have intermingled some of them, but I like that. Back here, some 1/4-inch drive. Looks like mostly 6-point sockets, SAE. Again, most of them are Craftsman, but also some other brands in here. So that's these. Let's see, what size was this? Put it back. 1/16. Alrighty here. So and then up here, some more 6-point 1/4 drive metric sockets. At least I have my 10mm. And these are just some sockets that I have a couple of these that I don't know. I haven't found a need yet to purchase an organizer set for these sockets, these inverted ones, but put those there. Now top drawer here. This is where I keep my extensions for the most part. So as you can see, I've just kind of thrown them in here. I don't know if you guys have suggestions of ways to organize extensions. Feel free to comment below, either with links or maybe pictures that you have that you've found helpful. I mean, I'm sure there are ones that you can buy, but I'd rather hear from you guys, maybe some experience. So yeah, again, all sorts of brands here. Craftsman mostly, some other brands. Looks like this is a old Snap-on Speed ratchet. I believe that's what they were called. Rarely use the thing, but you know, I sometimes it does come in handy, and it's always when you get rid of a tool that you need it. More extensions here. Craftsman. And you never know what combination of extensions you'll need, so that's why I just throw them all in here, because you never know when you're going to need to do a different size extension. Below that, here are most of my ratchets. So I've tried to organize these by the drive, so kinda. I have some 1/4-inch drive here, and then I have my 3/8 for the most part, and then that little 1/4-inch drive got in there, and then my 1/2-inch drive. And then I have my big Mac pair head ratchet. Love this thing. I just recently greased it since I actually bought some. So, and I have a little Mac right back there with a comfort grip. I'll show you that one too. These are a little bit more, these aren't fine tooth, so I don't use them as much, but man, these things are tough as nails. So there's that one. Honestly, I've been using this Harbor Freight one a lot. If you've been following my videos, you've probably seen it. I love the offset nature of it. Love how it's fine tooth, really quiet. And there was a coupon out not that long ago where you could get $5 off this ratchet and an extra $2. So it was like $3. And you might not think much of a $3 ratchet, but man, throw it in your car just for an emergency. And if you've seen the videos, again, all using the same one, it's done pretty well for me. So I really like that one. Flex head ratchet, very, very useful. And yeah, I also have a little breaker bar in here. Let's see, down below this, and keep in mind I'm still organizing. I actually just got these 3 not that long ago from a yard sale for a pretty good deal. So I'm still trying to figure out how I work most efficiently out of them. This top drawer, I have blades. Let's see, I have my X-Acto knife, some jigsaw blades. Just kind of threw them in there now. I don't use these too often, so I just kind of have all those in there. Below that, some drill bits, it looks like. And then below that, some spade bits. All sorts. Here, I use this coffee mug for pencils, other things that I use pretty commonly. Scissors. I don't know, I have a masonry bin there. Bottle opener. More scissors. Some tweezers, just in case you need to get at something small. Then back in here, I have some wire nuts that I just kept in that container, and some assorted washers that, again, I just like the organization. And back here, again, we have some more SAE sockets. These are my 3/8 inch drive, 6-point or 12-point in the back, as you can see. Not too many of those. And then I have my 6-point here, mostly full. Again, it looks like, I think, yeah, mostly Craftsman for these. This is benchtop. A couple odd and end ones. A lot of these I've inherited or purchased at garage sales, which is why there's not a full set of everything. 12-point metric sockets. Again, most of these are going to be Craftsman. That's a Craftsman. And I think also I have some SKs. But yeah. So recently I actually decided to get organizers for the 12-point because I have so many, I guess, quote unquote, you could say, and I just hated having them not in a place I could easily see them, because you never know when you'll need a 12-point. So I broke down and bought one from Harbor Freight. It was like $9 for 3 for the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and the 3/8. So I really like that. Let's see. And now we can kind of move down to the next part of the toolbox. And alright, so top drawer here. Guess I'll get you out of here. This is where I have all of, or most of my metric wrenches, as you can obviously tell, Craftsman. I got this organizer on Amazon. It's alright. The only thing I don't like about it is it's not like, it says it's universal. I mean, it's definitely not that. But yeah, here are, and I have 2 sets here because sometimes I'll be needing 1 set indoors, so I take it inside. So I got a second one here because I have almost another full set. So again, both metric. And yeah, I'll have to find a better place, I think, to put these because I have more wrenches sitting around in other drawers, but I wanted to keep this nice because I frequently go to this when I'm working on my bike and other things. Below that, as you can guess, I have my SAE. I just throw them in there. I don't use them as much, so that's why I haven't felt the major need to get them organized. I hate opening this drawer because it's definitely not how I like to work. I like to work organized, but again, I just use these so infrequently. But of course, I'm not going to get rid of them. Most Craftsman, I have some SK. I wonder what year. If anybody knows what year this wrench is, this ratcheting wrench, I might have to look it up later. But yeah, tools that I got from family members that I just, I can't bear to get rid of. And again, you never know when this one wrench with its certain offset will do the job. So yeah, just a whole host of these. Again, I don't use these too often, but I decided to have my wrenches in parallel with each other. That way I can find them easily. Now, finishing up the right-hand toolbox, we'll go through the bottom half. Top drawer here, this is my hammer drawer. So what I have in here mostly is hammers that I've collected from mostly family. As you can tell, a lot of these ball peen hammers are pretty old, and I just love using them. Just love the way that the handle feels in your hand. And then I have some newer hammers. I love using rubber mallets too, especially when doing woodworking or even some work on cars. If you don't want to mar surfaces or you're wanting to kind of persuade some of the plastic parts back in, definitely helpful to have that. Deadbolt hammer, definitely something nice to have, especially when you're wanting to really apply a lot of force to something. And then a framing hammer back there, which I don't use too often. So yeah, there's that drawer. And this is my automotive drawer, which I've kind of labeled it. Just a bunch of random automotive tools. I might change this, but honestly, so many of these things kind of just fit together in terms of use that I've thrown them together like that. Might change over time. Like I could see myself putting these impact drivers with this, maybe the screwdrivers, but I don't know. Hard for me to know what to do. What do we got in here? An oil filter wrench, some impact sockets again. I probably would want to move those at a later point, but the case is nice. It keeps them easily organized, and honestly, I'm only going to really use those for automotive work. Coolant tester, a strap wrench, a breaker bar. Probably one of the best things you can buy at Harbor Freight for the money, especially when there's a coupon. You can get one of these breaker bars for $15, and I can't speak highly enough of this. Let's see, more strap wrenches. Anybody know what that tool is for? It's for lugs on a semi, believe it or not. Some valve spring compressors. I believe this is for piston rings. Helps you collapse them so you can get the cylinder back into the bore. Obviously, I don't use that rarely ever. Drum brake tool, another wrench. Got my torque wrench back there. Oil filter wrench. Let's see. These are for battery terminals. In case you have some trouble opening them up, you can use these pliers to open them. So I don't know, like this, should I put it with my pliers or do I just keep it in here? Because again, I have my battery cleaner terminal right there, tool. And I just don't use that too often. So grease gun tool right there. So for now, this stays as it is. I don't love it, but it works. Next thing, this is my clamp drawer. This was a disaster before, but I kind of like where it's going. Basically what I've done is I've just, I also like to recycle things, not waste money and pollute. So I use these old containers to throw my C-clamps in, the plastic clamps here, and then the bigger ones, I just figured instead of trying to find a space for them, just throw them back there. Kind of works better for me, just so I, if I need something small, simple, I can grab it from there, or if I need something bigger, it's likely back there. Zip ties, I guess, have made their way in here. I don't know if they'll stay there, but yeah, so that's that drawer. Another good thing to buy from Harbor Freight are clamps too, because you never can have enough, and I always find a use for them, and they always come in handy. Alright, the last one here. This also might get some changes here pretty soon. This is kind of the drywall cutting, tile, all in one kind of drawer. So let's move you a little bit here. So as you can obviously tell, a crap ton of different drywall knives, some trowels. This is a tool for removing wallpaper. What it does is you just kind of ride it around the wall, and these little blades cut the wallpaper to help you rip it up. It works okay. Honestly, I found that just kind of ripping it works just fine too. But anyway, in the back here, some hacksaws, bolt cutter. Again, now that I have more space with these toolboxes, I'll probably revisit it. Let's see. Yeah, more trowel, drywall rasp over there, some containers for doing drywall work. So yeah, I'll probably be redoing this drawer soon. But again, I like to kind of keep similar things or similar type trade tools together, which we'll see kind of here in the next toolbox. Moving on to the middle toolbox here. This one I work more out of, I feel like, just because of the height. Kind of weird, but I like how the top here of the toolbox, which is probably about, I don't know, maybe 5 foot, makes it really nice when I want to look here for sockets. So this is kind of my most used portion here. So as you can tell, again, more organizers. So specifically we have our metrics now, 1/2-inch drive. These are Harbor Freight, pretty good for light duty work. Haven't broken any yet. Again, 3/8 drive. These are mostly Craftsman, except for this one, the one I grabbed. So yeah, Craftsman. Some universal sockets. I don't have a full set. This was also, I think, a garage sale find with a whole bunch of other sockets, which is why it's Craftsman. Really handy for getting into those tough to reach places. I also have some security Torx bits in here for some reason. Some converters when it's changing drives. So if you want to go from 1/2-inch drive to 3/8, 3/8 to 1/4, or anywhere in between. Or excuse me, not in between, but of course, any kind of conversion among those three. Here are some sockets for putting bits in, which is helpful again for the impact driver. 1/4-inch drive sockets. Kind of what I've done here is I've wanted to have, since the Harbor Freight only goes from 6 to 20, and of course there's more sockets within each drive that are bigger or smaller than that. I've kind of done a continuation, so 20, 21, 22, 23. Don't love that, but it kind of works. This side, a hodgepodge of different things. We have our hex head sockets, some Torx drive sockets in this plastic container, some more Torx and hex, more Torx. This ratcheting screwdriver, which I haven't found a better place for, but kind of cool. I just throw it in this 27mm socket. Inspection mirror definitely comes in handy, whether we're doing automotive work or any other kind of thing where you can't get a straight visual. Some tools for removing, I think they're called extractor sockets, helping you remove rounded bolts or fasteners. And then here, what I've done, since I obviously work a lot on metric stuff, these are all extra sockets. So although I primarily reach in here for my sockets, especially when they're metric, I've decided in case one ever breaks or I lose it, here is my one-stop shop. So I've tried to organize it, and this is probably the worst thing that you could do, but I kind of enjoy doing it. So it looks like the smallest I have here is, what size is this? 6mm. So here are all my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on, all the way down, I think, to here, which is the last one, and this is probably 19 or 17, let's see. Yeah, 19. So I just have a whole bunch of extra sockets in case I need to grab an extra one, or maybe one of these is too big, too short, so I can kind of shop around here to find something that works for me. So there's that. Going to the top drawer here. Hodgepodge of different things, some chisels, some scrapes, I guess one of my knives in here, chisels, whetstone, some punches, let's see here, some cold chisels. Don't use these too often, but like to keep everything kind of together. This is just a nice little package of different punches. I like how it's organized, so I haven't thrown away the packaging. So who knows? This I actually found at Goodwill for $1. I mean, this thing is metal alone might be worth more than that. So there's that. This is my screwdriver drawer. This works okay. I kind of want to look into some kind of organizer because right now it's tight, but if you take a couple out and you close this, they're moving all over the place. So what I've done is I've organized the left side to be the flathead screwdrivers. So as you can see, got them. No specific order, but just how they kind of fit. And then about here, we have a couple Torx. And then from here down, except for this, is the Phillips head screwdrivers. Honestly, screwdrivers are a dime a dozen. I feel like you can find them everywhere, especially at garage sales, which is why I have so many. And again, sometimes you just need different lengths, or the handle you might like differently. So for example, I really like the handle on this Stanley. Just really positive feel, good, but it's short. So sometimes I might need something longer, like this Harbor Freight one. So yeah, again, just a whole hodgepodge of different brands, some Craftsman, Stanley, some no-name brands, some cheap Pittsburgh. But yeah, so here are my bits for. I think there should be these 2 screwdrivers that have interchangeable bits. I've just put some extra ones on the side, just in case I need different ones. Below that, this is kind of my quote-unquote electrical drawer. So we have some wire strippers, some reel to get some fishing wire to help you fish wire. I guess a bottle opener, some more wire strippers, a chain for helping you drop wire through walls, electrical tape. And then this is for ripping seams, but it's great for cutting through wire looms or things like that, where you're worried about cutting it. So super helpful there. So here is the plumbing drawer. This drawer has my plumbing odd and end tools here. So we got a pipe wrench, basin wrench, a very old pipe wrench, like I said, basin wrench, a tool for a disposal, map gas, and some pipe cutters over there. And then these are tools for helping you remove cartridges in showers. So there's that one. This next one is my carpentry kind of drawer. So speed square, drywall bits, scrapers, chalk line, nail pullers. Let's see. This is for helping you do flooring. It's like a little block that you can use to not mar the floor as you're trying to use a hammer. Old tape measure, if you will. This right here is a glass cutting tool. It does not work well, but it's just one of those kind of quirky things that you just hold on to. Old tape measure. I think these are called, what are they called? Butt markers, that's right. These are for when you get a brand new door and you need to mark where the hinges will be. You find the right size that you're going to use for your hinges, put it against there and tap it, and then this scores the line that you would chisel out. So, kind of nifty. Let's see. And then this is, I believe, called a speed tool. Side swiper tool. This is to help you remove vinyl siding from a house in case you need to repair it or remove it. Now to the bottom 4 drawers. This is kind of my, I don't know, craftsman drawer, if you will. Not the tool, but just like random odds and ends that you might need to fix something or repair something. So we have a rivet gun, leather punch tool. I get an extra lock for something, and then just all sorts of odds and ends, some fuses, O-rings. These are grommets. What else do we have over here? I always save caps for Schrader valves, just because heaven knows they get lost all the time. Crimp connectors for electrical. Yeah, all just sorts of odds and ends stuff that you might find yourself either missing or needing to kind of patch something up. So that is this drawer. Under here, not too exciting of a drawer. This is PPE, so some gloves, some goggles, knee pads, respirator, just in case, depending on what I'm working on. Here, got some pry bars, let's see, some flat bars, trim removal tool, another pry bar, and then some sheet metal snips. So that's that one. This one is, I guess, yard tools. So hatchet, bunch of different kind of cutters there, silk saw. So nothing too exciting in that one. That's why it's on the bottom. I don't do too much yard work, so those just are there if I need them. And lastly, let's go on to the leftmost cabinet. This will be the least exciting just because there's not as many tools in this. This is my most recent purchase. Again, at a yard sale, so still trying to find how it fits within the shop. Random sockets over there. I think these are all 32s. So let's see, yeah, 1932s, 15 32s. So I mean, these are ones that you really don't find yourself using, but again, I'm not going to get rid of them, so they've kind of ended up over here. This I'll probably, this is 13 32s. So anyway, back here, tape measures. And then here, I think this is going to be 12-point metric. I really don't have a lot of these half-inch drive, but again, just for the sake of organization, I got that. Some keys, and it looks like there's nothing else up here. All right, so left drawer here, we have utility knives, Stanley. This is a carpet cutting tool, so you just put that in and whoosh, cut through the carpet pretty easily, and then a whole bunch of extra blades in there. Here we have my calipers, some other gauges. This is kind of my fine measuring drawer, if you will. Some spark plug gapping tools, feeler gauges, things like that. This is for measuring the tire tread. And then this last one has some odd and end files. So yeah, nothing too exciting in that one. A lot of, I don't know, random things in this drawer. If you've seen some of my iPhone repair videos, these are those tools. So they've ended up kind of in the toolbox because I do like to have them all in one place. Nut drivers that you can put on different sockets. Scribing tools. This is for a spoke wrench for a bike. Some squares, some awls, and then I guess randomly a hacksaw. Below that, we have my picks. Ever since I started working on cars, these things are your second to sockets and ratchets are your bread and butter. I feel like they come in so handy. Even for other things outside of that, if you've seen some of my ratchet repair videos, I use these to help, you know, move things and kind of keep things in place. So that is that. Here, again, random stuff. So this is for Schrader valve tools, tire tools, a gauge, a random knives, carpenter, a framing square, some offset wrenches or screwdrivers, some very small, thin wrenches, and then some tiny precision screwdrivers, and then some stubbies. Yeah, they should be with the screwdrivers, but again, I'm figuring stuff out. This drawer is my somewhat organized Allen or hex keys. I don't know. I like these better because it organizes it for me. Otherwise it just becomes this. So yeah. This is organized at least. Below that, this is my Dremel drawer, I guess. So Dremel here, a couple bits, and it looks like some firearm tools. And now let's go below that. Here are one of my pliers, one of 3, I believe, drawers for pliers. So got some cobalt, bluegrass, I mean, nothing too fancy, some Pittsburgh ones, some needle nose over here. Again, some that were gifts from family or things that I've inherited. And just like with anything, you just never know when this plier is going to do the job where this one won't. So just, that's why I don't get rid of anything. An older style, heavy linesman kind of pliers. Except that's a cutter right there. Below that one, I guess my adjustable wrench drawer. So we have some channel locks here, some legitimate channel locks, and then kind of these new Cobra style ones. That this one's from Harbor Freight. Really like this style. Some adjustables, crescent wrenches, different sizes, help you to not mar surfaces. These are no-name brands, kind of junky. Do have these vice grip, which definitely are a lot more skookum as the other ones here. Really crappy spring pliers, spring clip pliers. These are all from Harbor Freight. They are okay, but I mean, they just suck. But they do the job. So until I do more work with spring clips, I'll let them pass. Here is vice grips and I guess random cutting implements. So side cutters, some odd and end scissors that I found in, yard sales that, who knows, right? Who knows? Here, kind of funny story. So this is actually an old holder for sockets, from Craftsman sockets. So what I did is I just ground off one end, and then I just slid the pliers in there like that. I don't know, cheap but effective. And then these surgeons, I don't know exactly what they're called, surgeons needle nose pliers or something like that. These are awesome for automotive work or anything where you just, that little bit of space that you have can be solved by these. So that's that drawer. Let's talk about the last half of my toolbox. Top drawer here. These are just some extra metric wrenches. Nothing too fancy here. I wanted to keep that top drawer that I showed you at the beginning of the video nice and organized, so here's kind of where some of the extras just came to hang out. Yeah, all sorts of different brands, TrueCraft, Allied, Ace, so nothing too crazy on these. If anyone knows what these are though, obviously it's a 26mm wrench, but I just can't figure out what it will be used for because it's so short. Maybe for getting into a tight space, but again, you couldn't get a lot of leverage on this. So if you know what those two are for, let me know in the comments below. Double-ended ones. Koa. So there's that drawer. Below that, panel tools, plastic trim tools, for working on cars, just so you don't mar surfaces. I used to think you'd get away with the screwdriver as a pry tool. Not always the case, especially if you don't want to ruin the plastic on something. So a whole bunch of tools there. I have not used this yet, but hey, I got Christmas money and I figured why not. Caulk guns, nothing crazy here. Those are just there. Now we get to the junk drawers. So this one is literally junk. I have some old casters here. Really nice because they're 360, but just never know, and they're expensive as all get out. Some lug nuts, just in case you ever need to replace one or just need one in an emergency. Some old parts. So I've got my Mac rebuild kit for one of my ratchets there, just to keep any of the extra screws in case I ever lose one, or the cover plate. Honestly, junk, but sometimes you just never know when that little thing is gonna save your bacon. So here's what I'm guilty of. This drawer is literally junk. Last but not least, this drawer, not entirely sure what this is going to become. I have a hairdryer in here because Adam Savage did a video about the utility of hairdryers in terms of getting stuff dry, paint and whatnot. So I actually bought one from Goodwill for just a couple bucks, and now I don't have to steal my wife's. So she's happy and I'm happy. Below that, old seat belts, and then a filter for one of my vehicles. So, I don't know, this might become the parts drawer, this might become, I don't know, the random crap drawer, part 2. But that's it. So that is it. I appreciate you watching. That was a toolbox tour of my home setup. Again, it's not a full comprehensive showing of everything I own. But yeah, that's kind of everything I have at this point. After only a couple years of collecting and saving, that's what I've got. Questions, comments, please put them in the comment section below. Any suggestions or tips you have, please share with me. I'm trying to learn and build them up and optimize my efficiency. The next thing I'll also add is if you're interested in seeing what's in my toolbox that I keep inside of the house, just a small toolbox, just so I don't have to come out here and grab a whole bunch of different things like screwdrivers or, common stuff. Let me know and I'll make a video of that as well. So I guess I'll do a little extra here. So this is my side wannabe toolbox where I just keep a whole bunch of odds and ends. So the top 2 obviously are just milk crates, some cones, some old cups that I use for mixing stuff or putting rusty tools in, extra scissor jack, just you never know. I own a Jeep, so obviously something's always leaking, so I have my coolant there, some differential fluid. Below that, here is just my parts bins, so I do not ever throw away anything because you just never know when you'll lose a bolt or you'll need a nail or you'll need a screw. So anytime I get rid of something, even if it's broken furniture, I will remove the screws from it. That's how crazy I am. So there's that. Thanks for watching again. Really appreciate a like and any comments or suggestions you have. And I'll catch you in the next video.